All right, hello. We are here with Joshua Duerksen, the famous race car driver of Paraguay at the moment.
Hi, Mike.
How are you? Nice to be here with you.
No, the pleasure is mine.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and also with Roland Duerksen. Is that how do you say your last name?
We know each other quite well.
Sorry, Refill. Roland Refill.
Sounding German.
Yes. Sorry, my German's a little rough. Okay, so for those who don't quite understand, he started Formula 4, went to Formula 3 regional. Is that right? From Formula 3 European League? Is that how it works?
Yes.
And normally you go from regional to, what is it, the world?
Exactly. To
Formula
the World
3?
Championship.
Okay.
Exactly. To the Formula 3 World Championship, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like the FIA F3. And after this, you go to FIA F2.
Okay.
Like in F2, there's no European Championship. So F2 is only worldwide. So it's like only World Championship.
Yeah.
And then F3 you have the European and the World Championship. So then the usual step you would do is to go to FIA F3, so the World Championship. But yeah, like Roland said, we had the crazy idea to make the jump straight to Formula 2.
Okay, and so that was not very typical, right? Most racers don't do that.
No, most racers don't do that. The usual path is to go through Formula 3 first, do like 1 to 2 years of each category, and then going up the ladder step by step. But yeah, this because of the situation we were in and the position we were in this moment, Formula 2 was literally the best choice for us.
Mm-hmm.
And Roland.
And why was that?
So basically, long story short, we had some proposals for Formula 3, but we didn't have the budget. And then when we got the budget, there was no seat anymore in Formula 3. So it was just like, come on, we don't have the budget, but we have offers. Now we have the budget, but all the seats are full. Like, come on, like.
Okay.
And then Roland came up with this idea of getting me into Formula 2 because he knows me already from Formula 4. Because when I was racing Formula 4, he was my team manager in the team, and so he knows me quite well. We know each other pretty well, and he had. But
he hasn't always been your manager since Formula 4.
No, so he's not my personal manager.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the team manager, like of the Formula 4 team. He's not my personal, let's say.
Okay.
And from there we know each other, and
but it was thanks to you that he was able to get onto AIX, right? That's kind of the.
I was the let's say the initiator of the whole idea because I thought, okay, that would be a waste of talent right now if he doesn't get the slot in the first stage, and. I would have hesitated for other drivers, but through the fact that we have known each other, we were winning races together in Formula 4 on international ground against all these academy drivers from Ferrari, Mercedes, and so on. And knowing his working ethic and his pure talent, so I said, okay, man, I just give you now a week to think about this idea. And as I always says, I was very happy that he was not calling me back after 1 hour to say, I will try it. He has taken 2-3 days, and then he was calling me back, and I said, I can do it. It's a difference between I can do and I can try. So and that convinced me straight away to say, okay, let's launch this thing, due to the fact that finally, for him, what he deserves and the whole team deserves, around him, just to have also the foundings for that, ensures that we were able just also to put the right tools in terms of driver preparation into this. So we are working with Mercedes Grand Prix on the simulator, which helps just to overstep F3 in terms of track knowledge, in terms of technical understanding of the F2 car. Then in the winter period, you are also allowed to drive on, let's say, similar cars with the same amount of power output versus weight. So just to get him into this understanding of the car. And that was quite intensive, and he used it perfectly. And then we started the whole thing, not expecting too much at the beginning, but we said from European season onwards, we can start to play and be in the game and being maybe from time to time the dark horse. And everyone, also some guys in the team have said, are you crazy to do so? And I said, no, I'm not. I'm convinced about him. And now everyone is happy.
Yeah, I mean, you already won a race now in Formula 2. I mean, that's got to be an amazing feeling.
It is, to be honest. I mean, and especially in my rookie season.
Yeah.
Like, being very honest, I never thought I would win a race on my rookie season because I know how tough this championship is. And I was like, for sure I'm aiming for points and for sure a podium, but a win I was not expecting, and especially in Baku, which is a street circuit, which I've never driven before, and I was expecting my first win to come in other tracks which I know better than Baku. You know, so it's like Baku, I was like, all right, I will do my best. For sure I want points. And then suddenly the victory came. You know, I was quite sure my first win would come maybe in an European track, as Roland said, because in the European tracks is where I have the most knowledge. Yeah. So I was expecting, like, if you give me to choose between a European track or a track which I don't know, of course I would say in the European track I would win my first race, but actually it didn't happen like this. And it was for sure a big moment for me. Not only the win, but also like the other 2 podiums we got this season in Imola on the 4th round, and then as well in Monza in Italy. All of these podiums are really special, you know, and just to see the team being very happy and celebrating together, it's just a unique.
You guys have good camaraderie in the team?
Yeah, we understand each other pretty well. We work pretty well together. Like really, the whole team is really strong and really bonded together. So this is really good.
Well, I just want to talk a little bit about kind of your beginnings. You know, you are from Paraguay. It's pretty rare to see someone come from Paraguay and make it to the level that you've gotten to. And I just, you know, someone who's obviously not as involved in the motorsport and in Formula Racing, I understand why, you know, I've seen a lot of the races, but, you know, just for like kind of coming from outside of the sport, I wonder, how does someone from Paraguay make it to that level? I mean, so from what I understand, you started racing go-karts when you were about 11.
Yes.
And then you just, from there, were addicted and you wanted to do whatever it took to make it to the top, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that whole experience, making it to where you are now.
Yeah, you're correct. I started with 11. That was my first time on a go-kart. Of course, the fire came on instantly as soon as I tested a go-kart. So I knew this is what I want to do. And it was quite a tough road to get where I'm right now, because in Paraguay we have only one go-kart track, which is 600 meters long. We have one autodrome, so like one race track for cars, but we barely use it. So the most popular thing in Paraguay, of course, is rally. We have really great drivers there, but like the asphalt, the track, the circuit is not very popular here in Paraguay.
And rally, for those who don't understand, is dirt.
Dirt, exactly. Like the World Rally Car Championship, the WRC. So this is really popular, but yeah, circuit, like Formula stuff, is not popular. We don't even have a Formula category here in Paraguay. So if I want to do Formula sport, like Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2, I have to get out of the country. So my first test with a Formula 4 car, I had to do it in Uruguay, because we don't have it here in Paraguay.
Okay.
So like my little prep, I had to do it outside of Paraguay, because we didn't have this. Luckily on this time, I had a driver coach, which has driven in Europe quite a lot. So he knows more or less how everything works around there. And he knew that, and he told us, like, if you don't go to Formula 4 with 15 years old, you're too late. And so they're
always looking for the youngest riders.
Yes, exactly. So he told us, go now to F4, because if not, the dream is over.
Yeah.
And
how do you get into F4? Do you have to qualify in some way to get in?
No, so basically we contacted some teams of F4, and there was a team which was quite interested to make a test with me, to see how I'm doing, how good it is going. And we did a test. It was quite good. I adapted quite quickly. We were bonding quite well, and I was getting up to speed after each lap, always more. So I think they saw something in me, and then they were interested, and then we signed a contract to race together the next year. So it was basically just contact the team, do a test, see how well I go with the team, how well the team goes with me, and then it's just negotiations, you know, like both have to agree, and then just sign the contract and drive the next year.
Okay. So the team, you get on the team, but that doesn't mean you're getting paid per se.
No.
Then comes the whole topic of sponsors, right?
Yes, that's
so how does that all work in the Formula circuit?
Yeah, so basically for the people that doesn't know, basically you don't win money until you're in F1, basically. even in
F1, you get some sort of salary from the team as well? Or?
Yeah. So basically, in F1, you get a salary because, let's say, you are the driver for the team. So like you're officially fully part of the team, let's say. Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula 4 is more or less like a customer service, like we pay the team because then they do for us the logistics, the car maintenance, buy the tires, the brake, the fuel, the engineers, the mechanics.
But they get you on the track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, they give us all the necessary things to be able to race, and therefore we have to pay the team. And therefore, for sure, the sponsors are extremely important because pay it all by yourself is impossible. At least for us, it's impossible. That's why we rely a lot on the sponsors because if we don't have enough sponsors or we don't have enough money, we cannot race.
Yeah.
It's everywhere like this in the whole motorsport category. So even in Formula 1, sometimes you don't get paid. Like depends on your driver's status as well.
Yeah.
Like there's some drivers who paid their way in to F1. They paid millions of dollars, and there are others which, of course, the team is really interested and they get in, and then they get immediately paid by the team. Yeah. So it's really tough. It's not easy to make a living of motorsport, but that's my goal, to make a living of motorsport.
Yeah. Well, you seem to be doing a pretty good job.
Thank you. I'm on it. I'm trying my best always.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so when I guess from your eyes, is it common? I mean, it's obviously not that common to have a Latin American driver in Europe. Is there anything you notice that's different about being on the same team as someone who's trained in Europe since they were young? Because I know they have the academies for a lot of the European racers, but then, Latin America, you get a racer and they're kind of just been learning on their own. Is there a big difference you see?
Yeah, I mean, basically just to learn real racing and be competitive straight away for your future professional career, it's always good to be in Europe. And you can say, generally, when you have passed the Formula 3 level, you already have the tools when you're quite successful to become a professional driver later on, maybe in GT categories or maybe sports cars to run in Le Mans. And from F2 onwards, you can say, even when you make not the pass into F1, because you mentioned already it's quite difficult to go in there, then you have a chance to go into Formula E, the prototypes, IndyCar. You have all the tools when you compete, and Joshua is on the best way to do so. So this year he was already fighting successfully against Bierman, against Antonelli, against Colapinto, the 3 rookies who will be next year in Formula 1 or already are in. Yeah. So he has the quality, and if we say it unromantically, he is a promising driver material.
Yeah. And do you feel, I mean, what potentially needs to happen? You're kind of paving the way in a lot of ways for the Paraguayan race car mentality to kind of become a thing. I mean, what do you think needs to happen for future generations to make it into positions that you have made that you've gotten into as well? I mean, obviously with one little go-kart track, it makes it a little bit difficult, but is that something that with more funding from abroad or from sponsors, that's something that could grow, or that there'd be more potential for Paraguayan racers to become something?
Yeah, I think what has to happen, of course, is to make the go-kart bigger here in Paraguay. Yeah, like that more drivers practice go-kart, and that these drivers get also more support and more knowledge maybe from drivers from the outside, because we still have to expand more here this sport, let's say. And I think, of course, the economical support is also key, because for us, especially for the South American, and especially for us Paraguayans, is extremely expensive, the motorsport, because there you pay in euros, you pay in dollars, you don't pay in guaraníes,
Yeah.
So of course the price is a lot higher. For the Europeans it may be expensive already, but imagine for us it's like the double, triple more expensive than for the Europeans. So of course the economical support, I think, is also key, and of course to have people that have the knowledge from the outside, from Europe, that these people can also guide a bit these go-kart drivers from Paraguay and just teach them how how the motorsport goes in general, you know, in worldwide. So like this, they can get ready, they can get prepared better for the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so I guess just to understand a little bit, like you obviously have to learn a lot at an accelerated pace. You're 20. Yesterday I heard was your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
21. Thank you.
Just turned 21.
Yeah, just 21.
All right, well,
freshly.
You can finally buy a beer in the United States if you ever go there, yeah.
I'm fully legal for everything now.
All right, there you go.
And responsible.
Yeah, I'm responsible. Yeah, 18 I was legal for almost everything. With 21 I think I'm legal for everything now.
Worldwide.
Except renting a car in the UK. I think this you have to be 25.
25, I think in the States too.
Oh, really? So this one I'm missing. But the rest I think I'm legal.
I can give you a lift.
Even though they should probably trust you more than anyone else to rent a car, right? Yeah. Well, I kind of want to just know, like, what goes through the mind of someone like you when you're racing? I mean, you have to kind of enter into a very mature adult phase quickly when you're driving Formula circuits, when you're driving this sport that you. Because there's a lot of mental preparation and mental strength that you have to keep.
Yeah.
Any individual sport for me was always tough to keep my head on straight and not lose my cool. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that with you guys, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, I'm sure you put a lot of pressure on yourselves. There's pressure from the sponsors, from everyone. So it's how do you cope with self-doubt and with potential, just getting in slumps, kind of getting down on yourself. How do you manage that?
It is really difficult because yes, I had to grow very quickly because I started extremely late with the go-kart. 11 years old. Well, my official full year in go-kart was with 12. So I did basically 3 years go-karting and then I went to Formula Sport. So I'm missing, like Roland said, I'm missing like 5 to 6 years of experience that the other drivers have already. So my path, I had to grow a lot and very quickly each day. It continues to be like this. I'm still growing and learning and trying to develop myself as much as possible because I know this is necessary to maybe get a chance in F1. It's more about the development of myself. Not external things that has to happen. Of course, this also has to happen, but the main thing is how prepared I am. So during all these years, I just learned extremely a lot, especially as well how important the mindset is. How important the mind is, how the mind can trick yourself even when you don't notice it. And of course, on the last year, which was really tough, is the year I think where I learned the most, especially with my character building and how approaching the things, how approaching the bad situations, these bad moments. But yeah, basically...
was that more from the leap from F3 to F2? Or why was it difficult for you last year compared to other years?
Yeah, last year was so difficult because the results were not coming the results we were expecting. I was expecting last year to be fighting for the top spots in the Formula 3 campaign in the FRECA, in the regional championship. But it was not happening like this, and was actually even worse than on my rookie season in F3, So I was like, what's going wrong here? I'm for sure driving better than last year, but I don't know what's going on, So it was a lot of confusion at that time, a lot of questions, a lot of everything. So I just had to work my way through it. And then, because there was a technical issue we couldn't fix in the car because the championship just didn't allow us to. So basically, this I found out later on during the season. But it was quite later before I knew about it. So, that just made it really difficult. But at the same time, I'm happy that I got through the situation because I just learned so much that I think this as well prepared me really well for this F2 opportunity, because I feel I'm quite stronger mentally and more mature, and I just have general more knowledge of everything compared to last year, and this of course helps me a lot for the F2 campaign. And I'm just really focusing on just developing myself as much as possible because I know that if I focus on my development, the results will come automatically. I'm not like just hanging around there and letting the team give me the best car ever, and then just drive, and then hoping for the best. I'm also trying to get my bit the best as possible, to then of course help the team as much as possible as I can to get these good results.
Awesome. Yeah. Roland, is there anything else you want to add? I think we're.
He framed it quite well. I mean, at the end, mental aspect is at least 70 to 80% of a sports athlete or top athlete. It doesn't matter which category it is. And again, what I said last year, he was running through a very difficult season where you also starts maybe just to doubt about yourself. This is something what we worked out together in a way. And also now he builds up, let's say, character leading skills as a team leader in the team. Yeah, so that's something when it's not always the driver fails, it's also sometimes the team fails, right? Yeah. And then it's about not just to be a finger pointer, it's all about, hey, let's stick together, let's go through that, go for the next step. And this is something what Formula One teams are also looking at. Yeah? And I hope that for the future, also for Paraguay, he can be the role model, that others and more will follow up. I mean, there's already a good campaign with having the next 2 years of World Rally Car Championship here. So the path is made with FIA, and I hope that they will put some tarmac somewhere and put a nice pavement and get 1 or 2 racetracks up here. And then I think they have a very good mentor with Joshua in the next step where everyone can look up, and we will take care that he becomes even more valuable and make a big name in motorsports.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, and how is it for you being here in Paraguay, kind of visiting your rider's home country now?
It feels like I'm home.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I'm from sub-Saharan Africa. I come originally from South Africa. So third world emerging economy is very similar. I was saying to Josh, and then when I got here on Saturday, I was like, feels like I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're from South Africa, you live in Romania. Where was it?
I live in Dubai.
Dubai.
Yeah. And my future home or retirement home will be Croatia.
Okay.
But that's only just because my wife's Croatian.
Okay. So you're a little all over the place.
Yeah,
huh?
a little bit.
Yeah. And tell me, Josh, a little bit about your sponsors. You have, so obviously you're riding for AIX. Some of your other sponsors, you have Marca País as well. What is it? How is that, racing for literally like the country's emblem, the country, having the country backing you? Paraguay.
Yeah, of course it's a big honor, but as well a big responsibility at the same time. With the Paraguayan country brand and also with all my sponsors, because of course the sponsors are supporting me, so of course I want to give them the best result as I can, be of course in the front, get the camera so their logo can be seen and their brand can get more known in general as well. And that's the same with the country brand. It's also a big honor and just a big responsibility because I'm basically representing a whole country, and of course I want to give the best image as I can for my country and not put the country's name on a bad side or get the name a bit more dirty, So of course I'm taking care a lot of what I'm doing, of what I'm saying, of my attitude, and of course I'm just working as hard as I can because not many get the opportunity to be called country brand ambassador, and on my young age I think it's even more special, and so therefore I just want to give the best as I can to represent as good as possible my beloved country.
And for the team, is that, you guys are new to Formula Sports. Is that something that you guys as a team also strive to do, is perhaps move into Formula One circuit, or?
In some level, absolutely. We're obviously turning to Josh, and it's a path, right? We would like to walk a path with Josh all the way, and in some way, shape or form, maybe not outrightly own a team, but maybe in partial team ownership, etc. But there's definitely our ambitions to get to the F1 stage. And it would be great if we could do it with Josh, yeah?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you explain how the dynamic is usually between team members? That when a new team member gets on the team, what were you saying?
Well, it's not any team, right? If you've got 2 drivers, the first rule is to beat your teammate. Then you worry about the rest of the competitors. At the end of the day, it's about being the best in the space you're in, because the seat's constantly evolving every season.
Yeah, it's basically like this because in motorsport, it's really difficult to compare yourself against different drivers from different teams because each team has their own setup. So it's not the same car each driver is driving. So basically what Morne says is the first rule is you want to beat your teammate because you and your teammate have exactly the same car. You share everything, you know. So it's exactly the same equipment. So if you beat him, it's because of your driving and not because of the car. Because like in F1, there's Red Bull and then there are other teams which exactly
every team has a specific specifications to their.
Yes, exactly. Each car has a different performance, you know, and the same happens in F2. Maybe not as big as in F1, but there are a difference, and that's why you want to beat your teammate because you have the same equipment. So if you beat him, that means that you have driven better, you know, and yeah, we fight for tenths, for hundreds between first and last. There's maximum 1 second of difference.
Wow.
And I lost pole position, so I lost the first place once by 0.008 of a second. Wow. So that's literally
0.008
exactly, and you can gain this lap time just by going maybe, let's say, maximum half a meter earlier on power or something like this, and this makes you have the first place, you know. Yeah. So it is really tight, really competitive, and but we as drivers, we also have two mindsets. Let's say one mindset when we're on track and one mindset when we're off track. So on track, we're all, let's say, enemies. We fight for
competing.
Yes, competing. We fight for our place, but outside we are friends. You know, like we know to divide both things. We know that on track, what happens on track stays on track, and outside is friendship. Let's say if you want to be a friend of one of the drivers, because there's maybe some that you don't really talk a lot or you don't know each other pretty well. But with the guys you're a friend outside. You know, there shouldn't be mixed feelings of what happened on the racetrack.
No, yeah, you have the support in a different way from a lot of other riders who, you know, you're just another German rider or just another rider from Italy. You're one and only.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I'm currently the only Paraguayan, so yes, I have a big support of the people here, which, yeah, like you said, it's a good comparison. I feel honored.
The nation.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And the thing is, for any country, I come from sub-Saharan South Africa, and if they perform Brad Binder, for argument's sake, in MotoGP, the minute he made it to the Premier Class, it changed everything. People's views on the country, etc., etc. So it's quite a big responsibility. So good luck with that.
Thank you. You're doing fine. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You know? Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for us.
Yeah. Best of luck. I'm sure you're busy with your recorridos running around, but enjoy Paraguay while you can.
Yeah, we will. We do. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.